Rio Grande Village is a great place to stay if you want to see everything that Big Bend National Park has to offer.
I'm TK.
And I'm Earl.
Come check out the park with us.
Big Bend National Park is located in the western side of Texas.
In the wingy of Texas.
And a little wingy. And Rio Grande Village is located in the very southern part of Big Bend National Park. It's right along where the Rio Grande River is, where Mexico and the US come together.
We actually could see right into Mexico. We picked out this particular park because when I was looking at the reviews, I saw that this is the place to camp with an RV that has full hookups.
It has 50 amp hookups for electricity and water and sewer hookups. And we had to actually get a longer water hose for our unit because our hookups are all at the front of our rig, and it's a 37-foot rig. And the hookups were kind of pushed back a ways from the spot behind it, so we had to buy an extra hose for that. So make sure you have extra length of hose, especially if your hookups for your RV are at the front.
They do have a nice store that you can get supplies at, but I'm sure it was marked up a little bit. So if you're desperate, there are supplies there, but keep that in mind if you think you might need some extra leeway there.
Speaking of the store, I stocked up on a lot of food before we took our trip to Big Bend National Park.
Like 4 weeks worth of food for 2 weeks. Staying there.
I went a little overboard, and it was kind of a good thing that we did stock up because the store is a little bit more expensive than what you would find normally at a regular grocery store. So when you are going there, be sure to stock up if you plan to spend a lot of time.
There are obviously stores outside of Big Bend, but there is a checkpoint. We didn't want to mess with trying to drive in and out of the park, so it is good to be prepared. And I think the nearest store was probably about 45 minutes to an hour outside of the park anyway, so keep that in mind as you're planning your trip.
There is another spot to camp at Rio Grande Village, which has dry camping available, so there are a lot more spaces for RV camping there as well.
Make sure that you do book these spots, any of them, way in advance. And the most you can book for Rio Grande Village with the full hookups is 14 days. So we had a nice way that worked out for us. Is I think I caught them when I called, like right between when COVID was starting to open up. Because when I arrived there, they were shocked that I was able to get a full 14 days. So definitely make sure you book in advance.
It does cost $30 per vehicle per week, so make sure you are aware of that as well. I mean, we have our Subaru that we drive behind, and then our truck for towing our RV, so that was $60 per week. So make sure you're aware of that if you're going to be staying at the park. The spots across from each other are a little close, so backing into your spot was a little difficult, but we did have help. We had some people who were really experienced with backing up their rigs, and they helped us back in and get our spots. Now, you are pretty secluded when you're staying at this part of the park that far south, so there is no cell signal, so you won't be able to make any phone calls, no text messages. If you want to be able to stay in communication with people, you can travel up to Chiso's Basin, which is still inside the park. It's about 30 minutes drive north, and you will have cell signal in there. The Wi-Fi at Rio Grande Village Park is decent if you're up near the village where the Wi-Fi signal is coming from, but where you're parking the RV, there's a big parking lot that's in between. So you're not going to get a very good Wi-Fi signal out there. I mean, we still had it okay. We were able to work a little bit, but we also noticed that if there were people parked between us and the building, then the Wi-Fi got really spotty.
It was really just best to be by the store. I actually worked 1 week and then I also took a week off. So the work week I parked myself right in that parking lot by the park store, and I had some Zoom meetings on there, worked fine. And then for my actual working at the laptop, I went inside the building where there's the little lobby-ish place where you can do your laundry and go to the bathroom on either side. And there's a bench, and I just parked my bottom on the floor, put my laptop on the bench, and I just worked right there, and I was pretty much fine.
And there were actually quite a few people who were working. It looked like they started in the morning and they were all parked and like sitting on their phones, on their laptops right in front of the store.
Or at the bench, like right in front of the store too.
Stargazing at this park was amazing. And there is no light pretty much anywhere.
So dark.
So you can see a lot of the sky. It's so awesome. And the sunsets are amazing too. You have the sun setting on the Sierra Madre Mountains, and it makes them light up in this bright orange-red color. It's just so incredible to see.
A lot of people just took their folding chairs out near their parking spot and sat and watched the sunset. Like they knew it was coming and they just chilled. It was awesome.
There's also abundant wildlife around the park. So there's javelinas, there's roadrunners, you can hear coyotes at night. And make sure you clean up after yourself too. Make sure all your garbage is put away at night because the javelinas will get into them. And we were taking our garbage out one night. And
I think it was the first night.
Yeah, and it was really dark, pitch black out. You can't see more than like 10 feet in front of your face. And we heard some rustling going on outside and we're like, nope.
We'll just wait till tomorrow morning and we can see.
Yeah, so they do have bins that are latched, so the javelinas can't get into those. So,
and they have recycling, which was our first RV park to actually have recycling because it was a national park probably, but that was so wonderful. But mostly for bottles and cans, but hey, it was great. One of the sweetest parts of this RV park is its location in relation to some awesome Big Bend trails. It's easy walking distance to the Rio Grande Village Trail, which has a nice split off. You can either actually walk right down to the Rio Grande River. We walked along that a bit, saw some people on their side. And then also you can take the branch up to the lookout, which gives you a gorgeous view of the whole Rio Grande River Valley and also the sunsets.
Yep. And you can see our what to do in a day at Big Bend, which encompasses our stay at Rio Grande Village and these trails in the little card that I put up at the top here if you want to check that out too.
Also, the link is in the description below. And if you don't mind a short drive, you can go to Boquillas Canyon, another awesome trail, which we talk about in our videos. And finally, the park is also within walking distance of hot springs. We weren't able to go because of COVID, so that's why we don't talk about it too much. We don't have anything to share for this time, hopefully next time. But you can see there are 3 great opportunities right there if you're staying in that park. This was definitely a great choice, and we fell in love with Big Bend National Park, so we'll definitely be back again.
Thank you all very much for watching our video. To see our full video on our top 10 things to do at Big Bend, be sure to check out that link that we have right around in here. And also subscribe to our channel to see more of our videos, more RV parks that we review, and all the things that we do on all our travels. Thank you all very much for watching and have a great day. Who talks first? You talk first? I talk first? Where is it located?
In the wingy.
50 amp circus for circus? Yeah.
That's a good term.
You know, it's like it's all...
And we'll definitely back.
We'll definitely back.